Hello there. You're listening to the Sort Yourself Out podcast. This week, we are discussing the joy of mindfulness, all the goodness that a mindfulness practice can bring into your life. I'm your host, Janine Hunt, natural health therapist for over 30 years, hypnotherapist, lifelong student, and spiritual seeker. I like to seek out the most effective practices and techniques that provide the greatest bang for my buck and the fastest route to freedom from whatever is holding us back. I can't wait to share with you these powerful techniques so that you too can sort yourself out, know deeper meaning in your life, and best of all, a sense of inner peace. So let's get started. Well, hello there, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, you know this is called the Sort Yourself Out podcast, and that I love sharing techniques and practices to transform your life for the better. Well, today we're discussing a whopper of a technique, mindfulness. Now, there are two practices that I credit with totally uplifting my life when I was a mess after I quit drinking. The first is meditation, and the second was beginning a mindfulness practice. These two techniques totally turned my life around. So today we're focusing on mindfulness and the joy that it can bring to your life. Because trust me, mindfulness is a practice that can uplift your life on all levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's a top-down technique extraordinaire. And by top-down, I mean that we use the higher part of ourselves to manage the lower. Top-down practices have a knock-on effect that ripples out to uplift and illuminate all areas of our life. Mindfulness also helps in all three phases of transformation, and that is why it is so powerful and one of my top techniques for sorting yourself out. Now, I have discussed the three phases of transformation in other episodes, so I won't go over all of that today in depth, but here's a quick recap. Phase 1 is raising your awareness. That is, discovering the conditioning and programming that is already installed in your consciousness. Phase 2 is liberating yourself from your self-sabotaging beliefs, thoughts, and behavior patterns. And phase 3 is programming your mind with new thoughts, beliefs, and habits that serve your well-being and success. One of the major benefits of meditation that has a huge impact on improving your life is that you learn to observe your thoughts and consequently not get caught up in them. When you can observe your thoughts, you learn that you are not your thoughts. Many people are so identified with their thoughts and emotions that they believe they are their thoughts and emotions. Mindfulness gives you the potential to dispassionately observe your thoughts. You learn to take responsibility for your mind, that it's totally possible to attain greater mastery over your thoughts and emotions, and consequently your actions. And this has the power to improve all aspects of your life. And with this capacity, several other really lovely things happen. Firstly, you learn to be responsive, not reactive. Mindfulness gets you off autopilot and all those knee-jerk reactions you've been operating on pretty much mindlessly for years. These are behavioral responses that are programmed into your subconscious mind. They are habits and beliefs programmed into you by authority figures when you were a child. They are defense or coping mechanisms you developed somewhere along the line to protect yourself. And very often, they don't serve you. Some of them might have been helpful to you at a certain point in your life, but for the most part, they now serve as a hindrance to your growth and the freer expression of your expanded self. With mindfulness, you can see these programs for what they are, and you can choose not to get caught up in them. You can choose a new response that is based on who you are now and that is suited to what you are currently experiencing. You view the reality of the present moment afresh. You don't react automatically based on the past, and quite possibly with the consciousness level of the child you were when you began that automatic behavior. Imagine the knock-on effect this aspect alone has in your life. It transforms your relationships, getting you out of those perennial arguments you've been hashing out for years. Basically, having the same argument over and over. My husband was astonished when one day, a while after I'd begun practicing mindfulness, we launched into our favorite, not long-standing argument. And rather than playing along with the well-rehearsed script, I changed the scene entirely with my calm composure. That very useful emotional detachment that enabled me to respond in an entirely different way. And he was gobsmacked. I could see the confusion on his face. It was actually quite amusing. And I can tell you, it was a huge change from what our perennial argument usually was. The ability to observe your thoughts and emotions translates into a poise and thoughtfulness that ripples out into all areas of your life. Honestly, it's like a miracle. Just imagine this. Rather than blurting out the first thing that pops into your mind when you're talking with someone, you pause for a second and carefully choose your words. Same thing with your actions. No more autopilot. Instead, we have considered, measured, and thoughtful responses. Can you see the power this has to improve your life and your relationships? Also, when you are being mindful, you respond better in the moment as you are giving it your full attention. This is especially important in times of crisis, as you're not running around like a headless chicken, but calmly assessing life and responding with a kind of integrity that you just don't get from a fractured and harassed state of mind. Another thing, people will enjoy being around you as you know how to give them your full attention and to listen. So often when people are conversing, they're not really listening to each other as they're so busy working out what they are going to say next. And this makes for rather shallow and unsatisfying interactions, the kind that can easily lead to misunderstandings and generally bad communication. And people love to feel that they have been heard and understood. And your improved ability to be present in the moment, not lost in your own thoughts, will make for meaningful and effective communication. And conversely, if people are stressed out and snarky with you, you're less likely to take offense. People can just be how they are, and you're okay with it. You don't feel diminished or invalidated or angered by their rudeness or inconsiderateness. You can develop a live and let live attitude. With this greater control over yourself comes greater confidence in yourself, and you're not seeking or needing other people's approval. Because with your mindful approach, you know that you are consciously doing your best and giving your best. You are operating from a place of authenticity. Another wonderful aspect of mindfulness training is developing compassion for others and yourself. You're less likely to beat yourself up and engage in negative self-talk. And when you understand how the mind throws stuff at you unbidden, it's easier to accept other people and the issues they are facing without judgment. You learn not to judge your thoughts and yourself, and this becomes a blessing you can extend to others as well. Nice. And of course, one other major joy of mindfulness is that you get less stressed, and that leads to overall better health. Here's another biggie. When you are able to observe your thoughts, you weed out the crap that goes on betwixt your ears. So you are going to attract better things and circumstances into your life, as you're not dwelling in negativity. You're not festering with regrets and shame about the past and fears and worries about the future. Can you see how that lightens your load in a triple whammy kind of way? One more joyful thing about practicing mindfulness is that it fosters gratitude for all that you mindfully notice in your life. For example, you go for a walk, and rather than ruminating or listening to damaging self-talk, you are present in the moment, taking in the sights and sounds and smells. You're open to experience the beauty that surrounds you and to benefit from its soul-nourishing goodness. And we all need that. Now, on that happy note, I'm going to wrap this up for today. I just want to leave you with this thought. Imagine the major improvement there would be in the world if more people were responsive, not reactive, if more people were operating out of kindness and compassion and recognizing that we all want the same things, to be happy and fulfilled and loved. These qualities are the very essence of mindfulness training. Mindfulness, to the uninitiated, can seem like such a minimal and airy-fairy thing, but I promise you, its impact is huge and almost immediately recognizable, both in our individual lives as well as in the wider world, as we learn to live more mindfully as a whole. Now, these, of course, are just my reflections on the joy of a mindfulness practice. There are many more beneficial aspects than I've covered here. As with any practice, the important thing is that you actually do it. So if you'd like to get started, go listen to episode 37 of the podcast, Easy Mindfulness Techniques to Start Today. The title says it all. Now, if you want to know more, you might be interested in joining my soon-to-be-released membership, the Better Than Happy Zone, where I'll be sharing all sorts of techniques and practices to uplift your being and sort yourself out. To give you an idea, I've created several mindfulness meditations that are in the membership. There's one to ease your mind, one to release stress and anxiety, another to offer recognition and care for those who frustrate you, and another one to release conflict with others. Those are just a few of the goodies on offer, and the library will just keep growing. If you're interested in joining the Better Than Happy Zone when it opens, why don't you head over to theinspirationcloud.com/membership to get on the wait list, and I will keep you in the loop. The doors will officially be opening after Easter, but those on the wait list will get an opportunity to join earlier at a specially discounted rate. Stay tuned for more on the membership in a sec. And one other thing before I go. There is no better technique to accompany and complement mindfulness than meditation. I have a free guide you can download, my Quick Start Guide to Doable Meditation, that explains a simple style of meditation that takes as little as 5 minutes per day. Yes, 5 measly minutes, but it will still give you the benefits. It also includes tips, my guide, to get you past the resistance to meditating daily that most of us feel before we get into the rhythm of it. You can get it at theinspirationcloud.com/SYO67. That's theinspirationcloud.com/SYO67. And those are the numbers 6 and 7. And I will put a link in the show notes. Now, if you are interested in taking your well-being to the next level and being better than happy, why don't you sign up to the waitlist for my upcoming Better Than Happy membership? I've been talking about it for ages, but I am getting there, and soon we will be launching this. So the Better Than Happy Zone is a monthly membership where I'll be teaching my most powerful top-down techniques to sort yourself out, to free yourself of your hang-ups and blockages, to take charge of your mind, and to nourish your soul. So if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that I'm all about giving you the tools that you need to transform your life. And in the Better Than Happy membership, there will be mini courses and hypnosis sessions and guided meditations and EFT tapping videos, neurolinguistic programming techniques, mindfulness training, the ageless wisdom teaching, and lots more. So that wherever you are on your path to greater well-being, you can start right there and then take the next step when you're ready. You'll have the tools, practices, and techniques you need to not just heal your life, but to make it more meaningful, fulfilling, peaceful, and beautiful. So if you're ready to transform your well-being and be better than happy and would like to be kept informed, go on over to theinspirationcloud.com/membership to get on the wait list, and I will keep you in the loop. And this is something you also want to do, because those people on my wait list are going to be offered a special early bird offer where they will be offered the membership at the lowest price it's ever going to be, and they will also get early access. So that's the inspirationcloud.com/SYO membership. Okay, my friend, that is all for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really do appreciate it. So take care, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. I really hope you found it helpful and full of uplifting ideas that you can put into practice in your life. And if you have, chances are your friends and family will too. So please share it with them on social media. You'll be helping them to sort themselves out, because I bet you think they need it, right? But seriously, you'll also be doing me a huge favor, and I will be eternally grateful for your generosity. It would also be lovely if you would leave me a review on iTunes, preferably a nice one, please. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast while you're there. If you have any questions or would like me to address a certain topic, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at info@theinspirationcloud.com. Have a good one, folks. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.